7 most mysterious beings. For thousands of years, people have told stories about creatures no one has seen and yet everyone feared. Monsters, spirits, legends. But what if some of those tales aren't just fiction? Today, you'll discover 7 of the most mysterious beings whose existence still terrifies, fascinates, and raises questions. The first creature on our list is the vampire. Blood drinkers hiding in the shadows have terrified people for centuries. They are described as immortal beings with pale skin, sharp fangs, and a thirst for blood. But a vampire is more than just a monster. It's a metaphor for death, disease, and the unknown. Their story begins as far back as ancient Babylon, but true panic spread across Europe during the Middle Ages. People opened graves, drove stakes through the dead, desperate to stop the return of a vampire. One name became legendary: Count Dracula, inspired by a real person, Vlad the Impaler, a ruthless ruler of Wallachia. Vampire beliefs spread worldwide, but they took deepest root in Eastern Europe. Interestingly, in the 18th century, Austrian Empress Maria Theresa personally ordered an investigation into the vampire issue. These were some of the first government-led inquiries into mythical creatures in European history. Today, image of the vampire has changed from a monster to a romantic figure, but the fear remains. Maybe because the idea of a parasitic undead being still feels a bit too real. Do vampires really exist? From a scientific perspective, no. But folklore, culture, and the fears we carry inside us keep the legend alive. Our next creature comes from the depths of ancient jungles: Camazotz. His name means death bat, and it's not just for show. Camazotz was a bat god of the Maya, linked to the underworld, sacrifices, and the darkness of night. He was depicted as a man with the head of a giant bat, wings spread wide and claws ready to tear through anything. In some legends, stood over 7 feet tall with a wingspan stretching up to 13 feet, enough to block out the sky itself. In Maya mythology, Camazotz guarded the gates of Xibalba, the realm of the dead. It was said he could steal a soul or even decapitate a person with a single strike. He's mentioned in the Popol Vuh, the ancient epic where heroes must face him in a deadly trial. Camazotz is most strongly associated with the regions of present-day Guatemala and southern Mexico. In sacred caves, archaeologists still find carvings and statues with bat-like heads and outstretched wings. Today, Camazotz lives on in comics and legends. He inspires both fear and fascination. Not just a demon, but a dark force of nature itself. Does Camazotz exist in reality as a creature? No, but as a symbol of our fear of the wild, the night, unknown, he absolutely does. By the way, both Camazotz and the vampires were chosen by you in the poll. Don't forget to subscribe so you can vote for which mythical creatures will appear in the next episodes. The Minotaur. From the Maya underworld, we travel to ancient Greece and encounter the Minotaur, a massive figure nearly 9 feet tall with the body of a man and the head of a bull. His footsteps echoed through stone corridors and his roar could shake the walls. The myth of the Minotaur appeared around the 13th century BCE during the rise of Minoan and Mycenaean civilizations. At that time, Crete was a place of power and fear. It was there the labyrinth was built, the prison for this hybrid being born from a divine curse. Queen Pasiphae fell in love with a bull, and from that union came one who could never walk freely. Was locked inside a complex labyrinth designed by the architect Daedalus. Young Athenians were sent in as tribute, frightened, until one day Theseus came with a sword and a ball of thread. He walked into the maze and walked out alone. Myths aren't just stories. In the ruins of Knossos, archaeologists still find bull-headed frescoes, and the palace's structure, winding, layered, looks very much like the legendary labyrinth. Some believe it was the true inspiration. Archaeologists believe bull worship was real among the Cretans. Bull leaping rituals, horn symbols, ceremonial chambers all suggest the myth grew from sacred traditions. Did the Minotaur exist? No. But the labyrinths we build in our minds, in our fears, in our stories are very real. You've definitely heard of our next creature, the Megalodon, a shark up to 60 feet long. Its jaws could crush a car and its teeth were the size of a grown man's palm. And if it were near you, you wouldn't hear a sound. They say it hunted whales, dolphins, and even other sharks. Nothing in the ocean could rival it. Fossilized teeth and vertebrae have been found all over the world, from Europe to Australia, most often near the coasts of the United States, Peru, and Japan. Some teeth are so well preserved they almost look recent. That's why some wonder, what if it's still out there? Fun fact, Megalodon means giant tooth, and for good reason. A single tooth could reach 7 inches in length. Today, this creature has become a pop culture icon. It appears in movies, games, and documentary shows. Still believes something massive and ancient might still be hiding in the deep. So, does the Megalodon really exist? Yes, this creature truly lived in the ocean, and maybe that's what makes it the scariest sea monster of all. Number 5. The Rake. Moving from the depths of the ocean to the shadows of our modern world, we encounter the Rake. A pale, emaciated creature with long arms, black eyes, and a body that looks like it's been drained of life. It doesn't speak, doesn't attack, it just watches. And that's the scariest part. Stories of the Rake began circulating on forums in the mid-2000s. People described waking up at night and seeing a figure standing in the corner of the room. It didn't move, speak, but its gaze felt like it cut through walls. Sightings are most commonly reported in North America, often near forests, abandoned buildings, or dark rural roads. You can't predict when it'll appear. Just feel it's there even before you see it. Some claim the Rake whispers in a language no one recognizes, a set of faint sounds with no clear meaning. Some say it's nonsense. Others think it's a warning. Today, The Rake is part of online folklore. It appears in indie games, videos, and fan-made stories. Its image remains the same, silent, thin, and always watching. Does it exist? Science says no. But maybe it doesn't live in forests. Lives in our minds, in the very place where night fears begin. A few talk about it, but coastal fishermen all know the name sea eater. It arrives with no splash, no sound. It simply is. It's described as a massive dark form with no clear shape, its smooth skin resembling that of a seal. It has no eyes, only a gaping mouth stretching across half its head. Some witnesses claim it's the size of a bus, or even larger. The first mentions of the sea eater came from coastal legends in Scandinavia and northern Canada. Fishermen told stories of boats vanishing in calm water. No waves, no splashes, just silence and an empty sea. The sea eater isn't said to attack and rage, it simply appears beneath the boat and the boat is gone, as if the ocean itself decided not to return it. Today, sea eater is a rare figure in fan theories, internet forums, and indie videos. Almost no one has seen it, but those who claim they have never share the details. Does it exist? No. But the ocean is vast, and in its depths, there are places where even light doesn't reach, and if something lives there, it knows how to wait. Final creature in our video brings us to South Africa. Few outside of this region have heard the name the Grootslang. It's a creature from ancient legends, described as a massive serpent up to 40 feet long with the head of an elephant and shining scales. Some call it the serpent with an elephant's mind. It's said to be incredibly intelligent, luring victims with illusions and voice. Stories place the Grootslang near the Orange River and the caves of Richtersveld. It's believed to guard caverns filled with gemstones. No one knows how to reach them. Those who tried vanished. Survivors speak of a giant shadow and eyes glowing in the dark. Some legends say the Grootslang was one of the first beings created by the gods, who made a mistake by combining an elephant and a serpent into one. They later split the two species, but one Grootslang escaped. Today, it appears in disappearance stories and local tales told to curious tourists. Almost no one claims to have seen it, but everyone knows to stay away. Does the Grootslang exist? Maybe it's only a myth. Or maybe in a cave deep under South Africa, something still guards its ancient treasure. And that brings us to the end. 7 creatures from around the world, each carrying the weight of human fears and fascination. Whether they're real or not, they live on in our stories, our dreams, and sometimes our nightmares. If you enjoyed the video, put a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also check out other videos, they're sure to surprise you. Don't forget to vote in our next poll to decide which mysterious beings we'll explore next time.